Data from the Alzheimer's Association shows more than 60,000 people in San Diego and Imperial counties are currently living with Alzheimer's disease.
And this weekend, a walk to end Alzheimer's is happening at Liberty Station. Joining us in studio tonight to give us all the details is Ryan Cottingham. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at Fox 5.
Thank you so much for having us. Excited to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about this walk and just really why it's so important.
You know, the Walk to End Alzheimer's is a key component for our year as far as identifying ways to connect with the community and raise funds to continue to fight the Alzheimer's disease.
Ryan, give us an idea of, for those who don't know, is Alzheimer's getting worse as far as the number of people who have it? Have we made a lot of advancements in trying to treat it?
You know, when you think about advancements and you think maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, we didn't really know what the future would hold. However, in the last couple of years, we've had some tremendous success with research and identifying some drugs that have been able to slow down the progressions, which is a huge, huge shift. We're right on the cusp of probably solving this.
It's just really promising, isn't it? And obviously with things like this, raising the awareness is important.
Absolutely. And that's one of the most exciting things about the walk. I've been to a bunch of different walks for all kinds of different, organizations, but the Walk to End Alzheimer's is so unique because it really brings together all types of people in the community that are impacted by this particular disease.
Yeah, it's one that, can really affect anybody. Is there anything in particular people need to know as far as what leads to Alzheimer's? Like, what kind of things have we learned about it in recent years?
There's so many things that we've learned about it recently. I think the most important thing is that if you're ever unsure about where things are at, am I suffering right now from it, or possibly a family member, or if you're a caregiver right now and you're looking for some help, we have our 24/7 hotline. You give us a call, 800-272-3900, and we have a professional waiting to talk to you that can help you through whatever it may be, whether it's understanding yourself or maybe giving you that moment as a caregiver to kind of reset.
What kind of questions do people ask?
You know, you'd be shocked. It could be anything at all, and it's the whole spectrum. It could be about themselves, trying to find out, I'm experiencing some things, what does this mean? And then we can direct you towards different types of clinical trials that you may be able to participate in. Or at the same time, like I said, caregivers that are saying, gosh, I'm really struggling today. I need some help.
And talk about where the money goes for, all the people registering for this walk. Where does the money go?
It's amazing because the Alzheimer's Association really has three focus. The first, of course, is really supporting caregivers and helping them get through the process they're working through. The second piece is educating families and family members as far as what the disease is and how to work through that. And then the last piece, probably even most importantly, is to fund research. One of the exciting things about being here in San Diego is there's so much San Diego-based research firms here. And last year, the Alzheimer's Association for San Diego and Imperial County raised $3 million towards the research component. The Alzheimer's Association actually brought back over $20 million to San Diego-based research firms. So a 7-to-1 return on investment for San Diego community.
Give us an idea, too, of what we've learned, I guess, in recent years as far as, there's a plaque buildup. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there is.
Understanding anyway?
There is. I'm not a medical doctor, unfortunately, but from what you're saying and what I've learned.
The reason I ask is because I know there was some medication that came out in recent years that helped slow that down. And that was a huge advancement, though cost prohibitive. So where do things stand when it comes to things like that? You think it could be solved within a reasonable amount of time?
I absolutely. And that's one of the key components of the Alzheimer's Association is that if you've ever questioned, should I get involved? Now is the time because the research is accelerating so fast. And right now we've got 2 drugs out there that are slowing the progression. But the research continues. And I think we're getting close to where we're going to either be able to completely stop it or maybe even reverse. Again, not a medical doctor, but the doctors that are out there are making it happen.
You said, should I get involved? The fact is when someone is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it's the whole family. It's the people who are affected within the family. So you're all diagnosed with it, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you think about that, we really think about the sandwich generation, which is really those people where they're caring for an adult, their parent, or in this case, an older parent, but then they also have children that they're raising at the same time. The children are watching the grandparents suffer through this. They don't understand. And so as a parent who's in the sandwich generation, taking care of a parent with Alzheimer's as well as your kids, oftentimes you need that help. And that's where the Alzheimer's Association comes in to provide that education and that resource to help you help you educate your kids, but then also help your parents through it.
Yeah, what, beyond just the trying to solve and treat Alzheimer's, talk to us about the importance of awareness for the community, at large.
It's so important about the awareness component. I don't think everyone realizes that you probably know someone that either has Alzheimer's or is impacted by Alzheimer's. And the more we talk about it and the more that we discuss what this means, the more people are comfortable sharing that I'm going through it, I'm a caregiver, I'm dealing with this when I'm not at the office at night, as opposed to, watching TV. I'm caring for somebody. And being able to share that conversation allows people to let you in and allows you to help support them.
And really not feel isolated. Can people still register?
Absolutely. So you can register all the way up until the walk at alz.org/walk. It's going to be 8 o'clock is when registration starts on site at Liberty Station. The walk will be at 9 o'clock. Right before the walk, we have our Promise Garden ceremony where we've got our flowers here, and each flower represents a different phase of the Alzheimer's Association. Blue indicates that you actually have Alzheimer's right now and you're working through that. Purple means that you've lost someone to Alzheimer's. Yellow means that you're a caregiver. And then orange means that you're supporting a world without Alzheimer's. And so we'll have the Promise Garden ceremony where we'll all have our flower and we'll talk through what that means. And then once we complete that, then we'll all start the walk together.
Terrific. Ryan, thank you so much. And hopefully a lot of folks get out there and support you this weekend, yes?
Yep. Thank you so much.